I will now call the meeting to order. We'll have the city town clerk take the roll. Here. Here. Present.
Here.
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 Here. Here. Here.
Present.
Moran.
Here.
Miller. Lindsay. Crespo.
Present.
Thunder. Here. Cola. Here. Edwards.
Here.
Nylack. Peter.
Present.
Forster.
Here.
Todd.
Here.
Hamilton.
Present.
McCobb.
Here.
Mark.
Here.
Cola.
Here.
Hogan.
Here.
Wingate.
Present.
Here. A quorum has been established. We'll now have divine guidance from order from Ward 17.
You may be seated. Change happens all around us every day. Tonight I'd like to talk a little bit about some personal effects of change. Change is one of the true certainties of life. Everyone will be challenged by change throughout their lives. The impact of change depends on how it's approached, how it's managed, how it's evaluated, and how people move on from it. Change is not age-related. It could happen anytime, any range from positive to negative, expected or unexpected. There are some positives of change. Change can encourage personal and professional growth. Change can open doors to new opportunities, whether in a career, relationship, or personal goals. Change in the workplace or in an organizational structure can lead to new ideas, creativity. It can make people think outside the box. It can reduce burnout, improve productivity, and boost morale. Change can reignite passion and interest. There can be some negatives of change also. Change can cause stress, especially when it is unexpected and overwhelming. Change can give a feeling of uncertainty, worried about the future, and afraid of the unknown. Change can be resisted or feared, especially if one is confident in the status quo. It can lead to conflict, disengagement, lack of cooperation, cause confusion, and mistakes. Change, when it is imposed from the outside, can make people feel they've lost control. A change in one's health or family members' health can be devastating. Again, change is going to happen. Obviously, some more challenging than others. Try to self-reflect, make adjustments when necessary, have foresight, and try not to put things in denial when you see they're going in the wrong direction. Remember always, reach out to your support system. Family and friends are the most important. for help, advise whether it's positive or negative. Don't go it alone. I'd like to end with a quote. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Can I please have the city council clerk give me a podium, please? I know I usually do it from up there, but I decided to do it from here, and I have orders from Ward 9, I see Ward 5 already on, Ward 17. Please go out tonight is the Black and Spanish Caucus speech, and they will be escorting the chair and vice chair of the caucus into chambers. Please turn off your phones, put them on vibrate or silent. Thank you. And when they enter the chamber, everybody do look respectful and clap. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Now I'm going to do this formally. Good evening, Mayor Elicker, City Councilor Smart, Alders, and our wonderful community members. Thank you all for joining us tonight. Tonight, as you all know, we're going to deliver the Black and Hispanic Caucus of the City of New Haven, and this is our State of the City address that we do yearly. It's an annual thing. I'd just like to start by saying it has been my honor to serve as chair of our caucus this term. We do a lot of work as a caucus, and I just want to acknowledge our caucus members. I'd like to acknowledge all of you and thank you for the work you do on our committee. It's a great thing you all do to show out and put on for our city. So I just want to acknowledge all our caucus members. Please give yourselves a round of applause. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Kimberly Edwards, and I'm Alder in Ward 19. And as I already stated, I am chair of the caucus. For this term, vice chair is Alder from Ward 6, Carmen Rodriguez. And like I said, you're our wonderful committee members, and I love you all for that. So now we're going to get down to business. I'm not delivering a speech tonight. I'm just letting you know that. I'm kind of like the hype man here tonight. And I just thought it was important that I got up to say a few words. So I'm just going to do a real brief intro, and then I'm going to go sit down. So, we have so much chaos occurring in our country presently. Many people are suddenly up in arms, scared, depressed. Some people are angry. I don't need a microphone if it goes out. Some people are angry. They're angry because we are faced with such uncertainty. The uncertainty of not knowing what craziness the folks in that very White House are going to drop on us or come up with next. They're putting our livelihoods and families in turmoil. Well, as I've said before, many times when I have to speak, as a Black woman and a card-carrying member of the Black and brown community. I have to tell all of you, this is not a new feeling for me and many others that are in our communities. It's not new to us. It doesn't feel good. We've been angry for many years. There's no equity. So the whole country's feeling it. It's not right, but this is work that we've been trying to do, and we've been trying to accomplish many things. So tonight, we're here to focus. We're gonna focus on the state of us, our city of New Haven. And we previously and will continue to speak about the many issues that affect our brown and Black communities, such as maps, voting, education, public safety, programming for our senior and youth populations. Those are very important topics that we're gonna continue to have to discuss and work around to empower people and make things better. So these are not new things or issues, but we gotta keep doing the work and keep talking about it so we can improve. So I'm gonna implore all of you to not only listen very closely to the message you're gonna hear tonight, but understand it, process it fully. Because when we all leave here tonight, you need to understand the assignment. You're not here just to listen and say, oh, you did a great job once you hear this speech. You agree or not agree. But what we're here to do is put the word out on the streets and get the work done. This is something that we have been working on and we're going to continue to work on. So tonight, to deliver our State of the City address, I'd like to call on our president, Madam President, come on. Madam President, are you so up there tonight? And thank you all.
Thank you, and I want to give a special thank you to the chair and vice chair of the caucus for allowing me to do this tonight. Good evening. Good evening, community members, the mayor, the board especially, and all the family and friends that's here to share my speech tonight. So as you just heard, I'm going to deliver a speech, and it is an assignment afterwards, and it's work for all of us to do. And the most important thing is it's work for all of us to do together. Who would have thought 5 years after the pandemic took the whole world by surprise, I will be here again with great urgency to deliver some more hope to our community. The pandemic may be over, but the pandemonium has just begun. Last year, this country elected a president who continuously attempts to divide us on the core values of what, I lost my place, okay. Divide us on the core values of what we stand for. The very fabric of what makes our nation great is on the line. Great, though, is a weighted word. Great for who is the real question. Are we revisiting the times where segregation was law and human rights were not on the agenda? The federal government is separating families, taking away the rights of women, and trying to control who people can be. Trump and millionaires are making it impossible for working people to organize for dignity, fair wages, and a safe work environment. They are determining, without all the facts, who has the right to reside in our country, while illegally sending people to dangerous situations. People are struggling, and true leaders must work to create pathways to the American dream. New Haven has always been a model for others to follow. As a city, a board, and the Black and Hispanic caucus, we will continue to lead with humanity, love, and steadiness. In 2020, I talked about changing the map. Who remember changing the map? We remember changing the map. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the map. The maps of redlining were created over 80 years ago that exacerbated racial segregation throughout many cities in the United States. New Haven did not escape these maps or their racist legacy of segregation. Even today, New Haven's Black and brown community is experiencing the direct effects of redlining, inequality, poverty, violence, underfunded schools, and high unemployment rates. They plague our communities. 25% of New Haven's population lives below the poverty line, and most of that population reside in the Black and brown communities. Many of us who love the city we grew up in can no longer afford to stay here. Many of our residents fight day in and day out just to afford to live in housing, even when the housing is not good quality. The suffering in the Black and brown communities have been going on so long, some residents have lost hope and even given up on the American dream. The dream to be able to work one job with dignity. The dream to raise your family in a safe community. The dream to acquire generational wealth to lead to your loved ones. The dream that all people should be created equal. But we must fight to give our residents more opportunities. Our city must deliver on the promise of the American dream, even while national leaders work tirelessly to undermine that. Let's take a minute to break down what is necessary to make that dream possible for the Black and brown community. The Affordable Housing Commission released a report in 2024 laying out the dire need for more affordable housing. And this issue is one of our board's top priorities. Housing is a complex issue, but we will do everything possible to increase affordable housing for our residents. 70% of New Haven residents are renters, so we must keep rents affordable. As a caucus and a board, we have taken many steps to increase affordable housing in the city. We passed the inclusionary zoning legislation, established an affordable housing commission, created along with the mayor a land bank, and passed accessory dwelling unit ordinance. New Haven was the first city in the state to recognize tenant units. Our city has increased the fines for bad landlords, and we allocated more American Rescue Plan funds towards affordable housing than any other city in the state. And y'all need to clap for that. And we have supported the Fair Rent Commission, which is ensuring that our residents know their rights around organizing and advocacy. We have developed thousands of units of affordable housing, with many more in the pipeline. One of these projects, the Coalfield Estates, I'm really excited about, not just because it's in my ward, but because the community residents are actually a partner in that development. And we need to do more of that in the city, where we have community members putting their resources together, pulling them together, and having a developer work with them, so that they can say that they're the developer in the neighborhood that they grew up in. That's generational wealth right there. All of these initiatives contribute to more affordable housing in the city. People might ask, affordable for who? The answer is affordable for many different levels of income. We will continue to change policy and pass legislation to ensure that we have all levels of affordability. Every resident, regardless of income, should be able to reside in this city. We still have more work to do, and we still have a housing crisis, but we are leading the state in affordable housing solutions, and our city's focus on addressing the crisis should be recognized. The data shows that since the pandemic, unemployment rates in New Haven County have decreased. This is good for the local economy, but let's talk about who has these jobs and where they reside. Many people in the Black and brown communities work in the hospitality industry, retail, and entry-level healthcare positions. Others work as paraprofessionals, school custodians, and cafeteria workers. These are very important jobs, and our city couldn't function without them. Yet, they also pay low wages. One job should be enough to take care of your family, give back to the local economy, and when it's time, when you decide, retire with dignity. Of course, Across the state and the city, workers are organizing to turn low-wage industries into good jobs. This is a way that more people from the Black and brown communities can join the middle class. On September 12th, Omni Hotel workers went on strike. During the strike, they were joined by more than 1,000 people, local and state elected leaders, community members, union leaders, workers. Workers was leading the way on that, guys. Everyone was out there together. These are the workers that clean your rooms, cook your food, and ensure that you have a good hotel experience. They deserve and want a good contract with wage increases of up to 15% in the first year. Local 217, thank you for setting the standard for other hotels here in the city. We have to start creating standards here and hold everybody to them. This legislative session, members of our board have been advocating for the state to pass SB 8. I know a lot of you heard about that, which would provide unemployment insurance for striking workers. This would allow future workers to fight for a good contract with employers without employers choosing a strategy of trying to starve them out. Don't starve our people. This is a policy that our state has passed to uplift people in the Black and brown communities. You just heard me talk about the industries that they work in. When we raise standards for workers, the whole community wins. And when we fight for more community members to have access to that standard, we all win. Let's not forget the fight for local hiring. And I'm bringing you back to this for a specific reason, because the caucus and a lot of others have firsthand into making sure this happens. So let's not forget that. It was board members, Unite Here, New Haven Rising, community members. The community stood on the front line and led this fight. In this fight, we won the jobs agreement. We're Yale committed to hiring 1,000 residents with 500 hires coming from low-income neighborhoods. Now, I know you've heard this before, but this is really important because I need you to understand where we were and where we are now. When it became apparent that Yale was not going to meet the deadline, the Black and Spanish Caucus held a public hearing right here in this room for 5 hours. Asking the right questions and advocating on behalf of our community. Yale came around. Yale came around, everybody, and they fulfilled their commitment. I'm proud to report that Yale met these commitments and that Local 34 and 35 won ongoing permanent hiring pathways for New Haven residents. Not residents that already work, not people employees that already work at Yale. New Haven residents. So that's bringing more people into the city. 80% of these residents have been people of color, and 53% of these residents are from low-income neighborhoods. This is a direct way to lift more residents out of poverty. New Haven Works stepped up the pressure during the pandemic, along with the team to hold Yale accountable to the community. The Center for Inclusive Growth, also called IG New Haven, I don't know how I feel about that yet, but I like it. Those that will be putting together an economic plan for everyone, it will have an intentional effect on economics in the Black and brown community. It will help our residents to create a pathway to become a true entrepreneur. Not everyone want to work in a traditional job. Some want to own their own business and employ others. Their mission is to create a flourishing New Haven where every resident has access to the tools and the resources to positively impact their community. Whether it's through organizing, entrepreneurship, our community doesn't want a handout. We don't want a handout. We just want a hand up. We want access so that we can be successful in this city. We cannot change the history and deliver on the American dream if our youth don't have opportunities. They need opportunities. The caucus has always supported youth in the city, and we understand how education changes the trajectory of lives. We raise money every year to support organizations that support our youth. We have made the Black and Hispanic Caucus Gala one of the best fundraising experiences in the city. So we want to give you an opportunity. We have a good time. Yeah, we have a good time. Not only do we have a good time, but we also allocated an additional $8.5 million on top of the school budget that was allocated for the year. Alders and our mayor have joined the New Haven delegation in calling on the state to revise the ECS formula so that New Haven schools get more money. We need more money from the state. We are working to ensure that our kids have access to the opportunities created in the biotech economy by creating the new STEM Career Pathways Partnership. Be proud of that. Be proud of that. That's something really important. When there are challenges, we respond. After the pandemic, the data showed that 87% of third graders in New Haven public schools were reading below grade level. We supported Mayor Ellicott to launch the Reading Initiative. The investment is working. Reading scores are improving, and our kids are getting back on track. There is much more work to do, but we will fight to ensure every student in New Haven gets the opportunities they deserve. We are working hard to change the relationship with our police. It's not perfect, but it is better than it was 20 years ago. That's just the reality and the truth. The only way to build trust is to work together to make our communities safer, and that's what we're doing. Poverty has a direct effect on violence in our communities. As a caucus, we will continue to develop opportunities to bridge the gap between the police and the residents. That's our responsibility, and that's what we're gonna do. So we have started to change the map. I'm proud of our caucus's accomplishment, but there is so much more to do. We moved the needle on unemployment and access to good jobs. We created more affordable housing. We're focused on youth opportunities and creating safer streets. And we are working to change and address the racist, structural policies that have long divided our city and unfairly denied opportunities to too many people in the Black and brown community. After years and years of community members, unions, elected leaders, at that time, Mayor-elect, talking with Yale about contributing more to our city. They made a step in the right direction. They heard us. But we still need a better partnership and more investment from the university. The redlining maps show that we have lived with many years of segregation, and Yale has a stake in addressing that history. Ongoing poverty comes with lower performance in schools, higher unemployment rates, less good jobs, and a lack of housing options, and an increase in crime. Our city will not be able to address these problems if we are not a fully funded city. It saddens me to say sometimes that we have the best Ivy League school in the world right here in our city. That's a great thing, right? And still so many of our school-age kids are below grade level in reading. Now, we can ponder and go back and forth about the question of whose responsibility that is. But I think it's all of our responsibility to jump in and help the children. We have to be a real partner in addressing this problem. We need to take a holistic approach to making our city better, because we need to be a fully funded city, and I'm gonna say that. Yeah. Last year, Yale released a slavery report and began its apology for this racist history. The university apologized for its role in denying the first HBCU from being established in New Haven. This apology came 20 years too late, especially when the research was already out there. But we must ask, what kind of impact this college could have had on our city? How would it have opened up doors in the biotech economy that is now starting to boom? It's starting to boom. Unfortunately, we will never know the potential of this school. We'll never know it. But we do know that the HBCUs have produced over 25% of all Black STEM graduates and 46% of all Black women STEM graduates. So we know that it is hard to overstate the hope and opportunities that the New Haven HBCU would have provided for our city Black and brown students. My daughter probably would be here tonight if that was the case. She had to go to an HBCU down in Maryland. Now we must answer this call. This is our history, and we must have a voice in the steps that are necessary for addressing the injustices our community has suffered. I want to take a moment, and I would like for everyone to please stand, so that we can take a moment to reflect on our late colleague, Tom Pickens. Before his death, he wanted to really explore the impact the actions documented in the Yale slavery report. So let's take a moment of silence for him. Thank you. He was an important part of our board, and an important part of the continuous work that needed to be done. So it's just a respectful thing to do, to give him his flowers for steering us in the direction that. So a fully funded city and access to good jobs are some steps that seem appropriate. But addressing these injustices require widespread and deep engagement. The Black and Spanish Caucus will be leading the conversation across the neighborhoods in New Haven to evaluate the impact that this history has had on our city and our Black and brown community. Together, we must decide on the steps Yale must take to address its historical injustices. The problem cannot be the only one in the conversation about the solution. In times of national crisis, New Haven must remain a model for other cities to follow. We will continue to respect all residents that reside in our city. We will continue to lead with our core values, and last but not least, we will continue to fight, I like to fight, for racial, economic, and social justice. I know that you might feel tired, afraid, or even hopeless, but it's too late to turn back. We must move forward by organizing together. It's time to stand on the core values that have always powered our city's fight for justice. We are taking a stand for the future generation. And I know I'm going to fight with everything I have for our next generation. We really don't have a choice. Right now, right here, we have to fight to build a city with true freedom. It will not be easy. And it might not be the most popular thing to do. But ease and popularity never really matters much for a city that knows justice is won generation by generation. Will you sit back or will you join the fight? Our fight is bigger than just changing the maps. We are demanding transformational change in the city. We will not stop. We will not bend. We will stand on the shoulders of the people that came before us. Putting everybody on notice, everybody, that the residents in the Black and brown community, we had enough. Tired of saying it, tired of taking small steps trying to accomplish it. This is the year where it's gonna get real uneasy. Some people are gonna get real uncomfortable. But guess what? I ain't one to really worry about that. That's the first thing, but other than that, we're gonna do it together. Everybody in this room, we all have a responsibility to each other. And we took so many moments over the last couple of years to do so many amazing things together, and we just gotta continue it. We'll lock our arms as an entire community to demand justice. So will you be a part of that fight? Will you be a part of that? Or will you decide to sit this one out? We ain't sitting out over here down at the Board of Alders. We're not sitting it out. We can't afford to sit it out. That's why voting is important. We can't change what's going on around us nationally. We can do everything we can to try, but we can actually change what happens in our city. That's our first responsibility, and we need to do it. We're tired of talking. We're tired of doing what's comfortable. We're gonna do some things outside the box. It's not gonna be that good, I'm telling you right now. A lot of people might not be happy, but this is something that's necessary. And this is the time to do it. What other time is better than now? None that I see. Thank you. Thank you. So we have some business to conduct, so you are welcome to stay. If you have to go, please exit quietly. Thank you. Mr. You know what, you don't. So we're gonna let the people that needed to exit. We're gonna take a 5-minute recess and then come back.
Right now.
Right now.
Still, right now. 7:50, President.
I will now have the city clerk take the roll again.
Here. Douglas. Everett.
Here.
Lincoln.
Here.
Singh.
Here.
Lincoln.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Duco.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Lester.
Here.
Murphy.
Present.
Grant. Santana.
Here.
Miller. Dempsey.
Yes, sir.
Hunter. Here. Cola. Edwards.
Here.
Iraq. Peter.
Present.
Joseph.
Here.
Bonner.
Here.
Hamilton.
Present.
Restaurant.
Here.
Mark.
Here.
Noah.
Here.
Hogan.
Here.
King.
Presented.
The quorum has been established. Mr. Majority Report.
Thank you, Madam President, and good evening. And we celebrate the wonderful speech that you gave this evening, the Black State of the City address. I'm taking a little bit more liberty, but I think we should give you one more hand. Thank you. Move approval of the journal of the April 7, 2025 Board of Alders meeting.
Second.
The item has been moved and seconded. Are there any corrections to the journal? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. Unanimous consent, I ask you see item number 1 from the tax collector or tax refunds, April 21, 2025.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Ms. Majority Leader.
I move the item.
Second.
The item has been moved and seconded. Discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask unanimous consent on items number 2 through 4. 2 from Canvas East, submitted in order of the Board of Alders concerning property taxes for account number 954460. 3 from Jacqueline Jones, submitting an order concerning property taxes for account numbers 76615 and 88707. And 4 from Lucretia Jones, submitting an order concerning property taxes for account numbers 86294, 76150, and 76125.
Is there anyone going to deny unanimous consent? Seeing none, Ms. Majority Leader.
I move these items.
Second.
The items have been moved and seconded. Discussion on call on order from Board 16.
Good evening, Madam President. For items 2, 3, and 4, these are residents that need assistance in their interest. And in their case, they have assistance seeking, but we need to pay the taxes in full. So there's a total of $1,664.77, and I urge this body to do so. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam President. I know communications, item 6. I know first readings, item 7. Under second readings, I move items 8A, city services and environmental policy favorable order of the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven. authorizing the mayor to sign a multi-year agreement and contract in partnership with the Capital Region Council of Governments, ROC, and BOI Incorporated to implement shared micromobility services in New Haven. And B, ordering the Board of Alders of New Haven authorizing the city to enter into a long-term license agreement with the New Haven Parking Authority for the under air rights garage parking facility.
Second.
The item has been moved and second. Discussion, I call on order for Ward 10.
Thank you, Madam President. Thursday, April 3rd, 2025, the City Services and Environmental Policy Committee met for both of these items, A and B, and we would like to favorably recommend them both. Item A is regarding e-scooters. So by partnering with Vail, the city will be able to offer another mode of public transportation for downtown by offering e-scooters, which residents will be able to access using the Vail app. That has a lot of fancy items to it to help with keeping the miles per hour to 15, also detecting sidewalks and many, many other options for safety purposes. The city of New Haven envisions a large-scale private micromobility system consisting of these e-scooters that offers residents, visitors, students, and employees a convenient and affordable way to ride seamlessly within the city. This system will enable the public to access shared vehicles from publicly accessible locations and return them to another location as an extension of the public transportation system and as a new mobility option for residents, visitors to our communities. So I ask the board to vote for this item. Item B, the license agreement continues to allow the New Haven Parking Authority to use the underground air rights garage parking facility for the next 5 years with the option to extend it for an additional 5 years. And I urge my colleagues to vote favorably to support this license as well. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes.
Thank you, Madam President. I move item 9, community development favorable resolution from the New Haven Board of Alders authorizing the city of New Haven to join the Connecticut Municipal Redevelopment Authority as a member municipality.
Second.
The item has been moved and second. Discussion, I call on order from Ward 6.
Good evening, and thank you, Madam President. On Wednesday, March 19, 2025, the Community Development Committee met, and we voted to favorably recommend the authorization of the City of New Haven joining as a member municipality to the Connecticut Municipal Redevelopment Authority. We heard from the city's Economic Development Office and MRDA, who shared that the Connecticut Municipal Redevelopment Authority was created by the state of Connecticut to stimulate economic and transit-oriented development, encourage residential housing within development districts, manage facilities, and stimulate new investment, all to support the creation of vibrant communities. Joining the Municipal Redevelopment Authority is in the interest of the city with mutually aligned priorities focused on affordable housing and inclusive economic growth within 1/2 mile radius of the Union Station and State Street passenger rail stations. As a member municipality would be allowed to participate in development projects in the Hill to downtown Worcester Square and Long Wharf development areas. MRDA must also participate in development projects as a financial partner. We support the authorization to join as a member municipality to the Connecticut Municipal Redevelopment Authority and ask for the full board support as well. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The item passes.
Thank you, Madam President. On item 10. Joint community development tax abatement favorable. I move to amend by substitution of this item to reflect the correct ownership of the entity and address. And upon each alder's desk, there is a copy of the amendment.
Second.
The item has been moved and second. Discussion on the amendment. I call on order from Ward 16.
Thank you, Madam President. The amendment is the order of the hearing Board of Alders approve the request from Property Tax Research LLC submitting on behalf of Brewery Square Community Partnership Limited Partnership. Give me 1 second. On behalf of Brewery Square Community Partners Limited Partnership, an application for a tax agreement pertaining to the rehabilitation of affordable housing at 1 Brewery Square located at 1 Brewery Square. That will be the amendment. Thank you.
Any further discussion on the amendment only? Seeing none. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Decision. We're now back to the item as amended. I call on order for Ward 16.
Thank you, Madam President. So the Joint Community Development and Tax Agreement Committees heard this item for Property Research LLC on March 25th. The request is for a 17-year with a pilot of 1,500 per unit, starting in 3 years, or the third year, with a 3% annual increase. This aligns with list recommendations, and both the Joint Committee unanimously approved that this request be approved, and it also has this committee, or this board, to also approve it this evening. Thank you.
Any further discussion? I'll call on order for Ward 16.
I just want to say that this also aligns with exactly what you were speaking earlier, because this is what we do as a board. We're promoting for housing, and it's something that can impact the community as a whole. So I would urge this committee to approve it. Thank you.
I will now call on order for Ward 10.
Thank you, Madam President. I just want to make it clear that I am standing in support of this item. The only question that I have, which comes up every time we have these types of tax abatements, is what is the criteria? I see here they're paying, it's $1,500 per unit. We had one a couple of months ago that was $1,000 per unit. And in the past, we've had some for $450. So I'm just a little confused as to what is the criteria to calculate these rates and how, it almost seems like the educational cost sharing formula is maybe even a little less complicated than this one. So just trying to figure out what the criteria is in establishing these numbers. That's all. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Any extensions? Item passes. Majority.
Thank you, Madam President. I move item 11, Finance Committee favorable. From the Office of Policy Management and Grants, submitting an ordinance amendment, amending appropriating ordinance number 1, authorizing budget transfer number 133-25-1, which transfers funds from the finance salary account in the amount of $160,000 from the Office of Policy Management and Grants salary account, $150,000 from the Registrar of Voters other contractual account, $100,000 from the Parks Department salary account, $235,000 from the Department of Health salary account, $100,000 from the Public Works Department salary account, $140,000, and from the Office of Building Inspection and Enforcement salary account, $120,000 to the Corporation Council Legal Services budget in the amount of $1,005,000, and amends the legal service agreements of Ford, Harrison, Howard, and Sage, Howard, and Ludorf, Carson, and Calvert, Amici, Osio, and Jordan, Milano, and Manab, and Sussman, Duffy, and Segalov, in excess of $150,000.
Second.
The item has been moved in second discussion. I call on order from Ward 25.
Thank you, Madam President. The Office of Policy Management and Grants has requested authorization to increase the maximum allowed expenditures in the agreements the city has with various law firms. This item also authorizes a transfer of funds from various departmental accounts to the Corporation Council Legal Services budget to pay for the increased expenditures. These law firms possess vital expertise and do important work for the city, which has more need for legal support than our in-house staff can provide. In the Finance Committee, on the Finance Committee meeting on April 2nd, our Corporation Council and their staff attested to the quality of work and reasonable rates of outside counsel. I urge colleagues to vote yes on the motion. Thank you, Madam President.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, this is the ordinance amendment. Will have the city council clerk take the roll.
Flores.
Yes.
Douglas. Hubbard.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Singh.
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
Singer.
Yes.
Lupo.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Testa.
Yes.
Murphy.
Yes.
Morant. Santana.
Yes.
Miller. Prudence. Crespo.
Yes.
Funzo.
Yes.
Kola. Edwards.
Yes.
Titleback. Junior.
Abstain.
Morrison.
Yes.
Walker Myers.
Yes.
Hamilton.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Marks.
Yes.
Gallo.
Yes.
Ovian.
Yes.
Wingate.
Yes.
Smith.
Is there anyone who has voted wishing to vote? Is there anyone who has voted wishing to change their vote? Seeing none, item passes majority.
Thank you, Madam President. Under miscellaneous, I move item number 12, motion to amend from Alder Crespo, submitting motion to amend item LM-2024-0647, the order concerning real property taxes on Tassie L. Godfrey, on motor vehicle tax accounts 84701 and 69821.
Second.
The item has been moved and seconded. Discussion, I call on order from floor 16.
Thank you, Madam President. This item is simply an opportunity to provide another 9 days for this person to pay the taxes in full. So we want to push the deadline to April 30th. So I urge for this item to be approved. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, this item passes majority.
Thank you, Madam President. I move to suspend section 24-1-A of the rules of the Board of Alders to conduct further business.
Second.
The item has been moved and seconded. Discussion, seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, this item passes majority.
Thank you, Madam President. Under unanimous consent, I ask UC items number 13 and 14. 13 from Jeanette A. Burgess Jr. submitting a petition to the Board of Alders concerning property taxes for account numbers 81926, 81528, 56589, 56631, and 56937. 14 from Lynn Kravitz submitting an order concerning real property taxes on motor vehicle tax accounts 88137, 78962, and 98939.
Is there anyone going to deny the annexation? Seeing none, this majority.
I move the items.
Second.
The items have been moved and seconded. Discussion, I call on order from Ward 16.
Thank you, Madam President. These are two residents that need assistance with the tax interest. If we're able to forgive such interest, they're able to pay the taxes in full, bringing a total of $5,983.51. I urge the body to approve these two items. Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions, item passes.
Thank you, Madam President. Under communications, I note item 15. I move to close suspension of section 24-1-A of the rules of the Board of Alders to conduct further business.
Second.
The item has been moved and seconded. Discussion, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, any abstentions? Item passes. And before a motion to adjourn is appropriate, I will now call on points of personal privilege. I call on order from Ward 27.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President. Violent death is tragic, regardless of the cause. And I want to take a moment to recognize the two homicide victims that were killed on April 17th. I'd like to call their names. Mr. Clifford Capehart, and the other was my cousin, Corbin Troutman. I would ask that we would stand for a moment of silence for these three that were tragically killed. Thank you, Madam President.
Are there any more points of personal privilege? I call on order from Ward 3.
Thank you, Madam President. I will also ask for my colleagues to stand, for a moment of silence. In my ward, I had lost a 15-year-old, by the name of Aaron Robinson. So I just wanted to. Thank you.
I will now call on order from Ward 10.
Thank you, Madam President. The reflections on your speech today, I think, really matter in today's world, and I just want to recognize that the Catholic Church lost Pope Francis today, and he stood for everything that was mentioned tonight in your speech. He was born Jorge Mario Bergoglio in Buenos Aires, Argentina. He became the 266th Pope of the Roman Catholic Church in March of 2013. He was the first Jesuit Pope, the first from the Americas, and the first non-European Pope in over 1,200 years. Known for his humility, advocacy for the poor, and emphasis on mercy and inclusivity, he has brought a more pastoral tone to the papacy, focusing on social justice, climate change, and interfaith dialogue. Pope Francis has become a transformative figure in the Catholic Church, emphasizing compassion for condemnation and encouraging dialogue on complex issues such as LGBTQ+ inclusion, divorce, poverty, and climate change. He often shuns traditional papal luxuries, opting for simpler attire and living quarters. He reinforced his message of humility and service. And though he had faced criticism from more conservative factions within the church, Pope Francis continued to push for a more open, responsive, and people-centered church grounded in the gospel's core values of love and mercy. I will ask my colleagues to stand for a moment of silence to remember what Pope Francis stood for, and that we may continue his mission of all that was mentioned. Thank you, and what he stood for. Thank you.
Are there any more points of personal privilege? Seeing none, a motion to adjourn is
So moved.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed to no one, say no. We are adjourned. Can I please see Tatum Washington to the podium, please?